Welcome to another episode of Bringing Down the Grindhouse, a podcast where we discuss horror in media. And tonight, hit double, Toil and Trouble on your microwaves. Because we're talking about Halloweentown and Hocus Pocus. Hi, I'm Justine.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Eric.
Yeah, so as you can tell, we're down a couple hosts tonight. Mitch and Murr had some business to attend to tonight, so we had our friend Eric come on. He's usually like in the crowd when we're recording,
yeah.
So we're pretty excited to have him talking with us tonight. Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Excited to be talking about these Halloween-y type movies.
Yeah, it's only fitting. Halloween's a-coming.
There it is.
It's so close now that we had to watch these movies that are usually on TV every year for the last like 10, 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
And they're both Disney movies. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I forgot that Hocus Pocus was a Disney movie because, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things they added into there. Watching it again as an adult, I was like, this is kind of suggestive.
Just all the sexual innuendos.
Yeah.
Making Sarah Jessica Parker like a bimbo, basically, the whole film.
Granted, it was 90s Disney, and that was a different time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
They were allowed to do a little bit more stuff.
Yeah, and then, you know, some rules and regulations kicked in as parents were like, hey, we shouldn't be showing our kids this kind of stuff.
Maybe we shouldn't be doing the double jokes on everybody with they can't be having everything, right?
True.
Isn't this also when the Nickelodeon dude had a foot fetish?
Oh. He's always had a foot fetish.
And was like purposefully made the logo like a foot.
Uh-huh.
That was a low-key thing back then. That's when we were starting to notice that.
Yeah,
things
we were like,
actually
what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I was a little too young to understand the foot fetish, but now, again, as an adult, I'm like, well, shit.
It's so creepy when you start looking back.
Have you seen that dude? He's like,
Dan Hart?
No, he's like a troll.
No.
I digress from the foot fetish of the Nickelodeon CEO.
It's not just him. Remember Tarantino?
Oh, that's
true. Tarantino.
I love the meme about that where it's like, make sure you close your windows. Tarantino could be anywhere.
Well, doesn't he like hire people to like, you know, give them foot massages?
That's like
shit?
the rumors is that
Yeah.
he's actually paid women to just like rub their feet.
So in this interview, to close off,
It's like a weird casting couch but for just feet.
It's like, I need you to take off your shoes, socks included.
So we're just going to get a couple initial shots to make sure that you can be the lead actress in this movie.
Now grab the lotion.
Oh my god.
It rubs the lotion on
I was
its
like,
feet,
is it Silence of
or
the
else
Lambs?
it gets the hose again.
Perfect. So yes, Halloweentown and
yes,
Hocus
Halloweentown.
Pocus.
Yeah, let's talk about Halloweentown first. 'Cause that's just a really fun, quirky movie, which there's surprisingly a lot of sequels. There's like 3 other sequels to this movie.
And they're all awful.
Hey,
Diminishing return.
hey, I enjoyed them. I loved watching
I
all the
only watched them
Halloweentowns.
because it was like there was nothing else on. And I ended up watching the sequels.
Nah, they had all the good Halloween movies. Honestly, Disney is only good for their Halloween movies.
They're
Like
only
that was
good
my
for the-
favorite type of movie they had during that time of the year.
Fair.
Like,
But
yeah.
you didn't like the other ones they had, like the rollerblading movie?
The fuck?
You guys don't know what I'm talking about? Brink?
Yeah.
I remember Brink, and I didn't
Brink.
care about it. I don't care about those sports films. Like, what is
Wow,
this?
whatever.
And then, what about the spin-offs with the actors and actresses that they had back then?
That's true. They had a lot of spin-offs of these things.
Zach and Cody, I think they had a spin-off
Yeah.
movie.
They had Sweet Life on Deck, where they were on
they-
a cruise ship.
That
the
was
spin-off
weird.
show that they had.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the actresses there also had movies. Tipton had a
Yeah.
martial arts movie in high school.
Yeah,
Oh.
Brenda Song.
Yeah.
She had Wendy Wu,
yeah, Wendy
Homecoming
Wu.
Warrior.
There we go. I'm fairly certain other actors in that show also had a movie on
They
that
just
channel.
use these kids for everything that they had on
Yeah.
their network. They're like, we're gonna put you in like 3 or 4 different movies.
It's what is it? It's the second version of the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They
They're
had
already-
to be good at like dancing, singing, and what was the last one? Acting.
Acting,
Yeah,
they
obviously.
usually were
made them
like-
triple threats.
Yeah.
And especially you can do that at a young age because they're more malleable. But man, I feel bad for these kids that are put in the industry at such a young age and just
True.
work to the bone, having to learn all these new trades,
Right.
constantly having to be on set for who knows what, whether it's a music video, it's actually a show, it's some random movie, it's a commercial. G's.
They made a lot
One
of
after.
fucking money though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Justin Timberlake's still doing stuff.
Yeah, but a lot of
I
those
totally
kids,
forgot about that.
a lot of those kids also suffered mental breaks at some point in their
That's
career,
true.
like Lindsay Lohan, Miley Cyrus, to name a few, Demi Lovato,
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
What's the kid from fucking Home Alone?
Macaulay Culkin?
Poor
Oh, no,
kid. Poor
sorry.
dude.
He changed his name. It's Macaulay Culkin. No, Macaulay Culkin.
Oh,
What?
His middle name is his full name, so it's Macaulay Culkin.
That's
Thanks,
a
I hate
mouthful.
it.
Say that 3 times fast.
I
no.
would prefer not to.
All right, so Halloweentown.
We went from Home Alone to Halloweentown.
Let's see. When was Halloweentown released?
It looks like Halloweentown.
It's 98, right?
I think so. These are both early
Yeah.
or late 90s. I think Hocus Pocus came out before Halloweentown.
Ooh.
It was 98 for Halloweentown. This movie was directed by
Correction,
Dwayne.
Halloweentown, July 16th, 1993.
93. Oh, so they both came out around the same year. Guess that was the year of Halloween.
Let me check out to see Hocus Pocus. But yes,
I only assume it's 93 because I remember them saying it was 93 in the movie itself.
They did?
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
It was because when
Might have been
the
based
witches
on
came
nice.
back and she asked the little girl, "What year is it?"
Ah.
And she was like, 1993.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
They'd been gone for what, like 200
It
years?
was like
something that?
300
you're right.
years,
Both
something
came
like
out
that.
in 1993.
Cool. Okay, so Halloweentown was directed by Dwayne Dunham. It stars your favorite Debbie Reynolds, Judith Hoag, Kimberly J. Brown, Joey Zimmerman, and Elemi Rosk. Yeah, Debbie Reynolds. She
Like,
was a
I don't think they did
star in
anything else
this.
besides these movies.
Yeah, well, Debbie Reynolds has been in a
Yeah,
few
except for
things.
her.
She was
Debbie
like the big
Reynolds,
name
yeah.
that they brought in, but these other people, I haven't really seen them come up in anything else.
Their whole budget was her.
Yeah,
Like, that's like what they
honestly.
spent all their money on.
honestly.
Debbie Reynolds and everyone.
It's like we need to
else.
get Debbie Reynolds for this, and that's what they spent all their money on because everything else was terrible.
Now, I didn't really see any budget listed for this film. However, it did receive an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yeah, this is like a beloved movie.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone who's ever watched it really likes it because it's just a quirky movie to watch, and it's a cool vibe to watch during Halloween. It's an alternative to like your super scary movies. It's the other end of it that people are always excited about, which is dressing up,
Yeah.
trick or treating, like going to parties and stuff like that. And it's
Yeah.
not the gore and the horror of watching other
Yeah,
things.
it was really whimsical, but there still was also that like eerie Halloween element. Like you have this evil warlock who's just turning people evil and then turning them into statues. I remember watching that when I was really young and I was like, this is terrifying. They're in this like cobweb ridden theater of all these statuesque zombie like creatures. And then you have this Palpatine looking dude that pops out of the screen.
He looked like he was like an old pumpkin that
Oh,
got
yeah.
like sewed and stapled together.
Yeah,
With
with
that
the
massive
long
scar.
Yeah.
spindly fingers.
Yeah.
Oh.
He also liked to yell everything.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
barks orders at everyone like lightning. Ah.
Anytime I see somebody use lightning, I just immediately think
It's
Sith.
like Star Wars.
Yeah, is this Star Wars?
Oh, didn't the kid also have at the end? Even he had.
He had the
fingers?
sparkly fingers. Yeah, spirit fingers.
Oh my god.
Just crackles
It's like,
at
is that
the
a
start.
Bring It On reference?
I mean, it might be.
I haven't seen that. We should do that. It's just one of the.
Bring
Bring
It
It On
On?
trilogy.
Yeah.
Bring It
No.
On trilogy.
Oh my god. What do you mean?
Nah,
I love Bring It On. That's a great movie.
sure.
Don't look at me like that. Just sure. We need to do Bring It On and Mean Girls.
Okay, I could fuck with Mean Girls. Yeah, I like that movie. I watched that movie also when I was way too young. I think I watched it in like elementary school because my friend recommended it.
That spawns so many cultural references.
Yes.
That, like,
it's a touchstone in our generation.
Yeah, it's so many. It's ridiculous how
and
many.
even to this day, it's still referenced just as much as it was back in the day when it first
How
came
old- I
out.
don't even know how old that movie is now. It's been a while.
I mean, I'm still wearing pink on Wednesdays. That's how ingrained it is for me.
Jonathan, didn't your office do that for a while? Where
Yeah.
we'd all wear pink on Wednesdays?
Yeah, Anastasia started it, of course, because she's like the fashion person of the office.
Ah, yes.
Perfect.
And so it just spread from our department. Everybody else was doing it. And then one day the CEO was like, what's going on? Why is everybody wearing pink?
Just like Regina.
He did come in with the pink button-up shirt, though, the next week.
Oh!
Yeah,
As soon
that
as
was
you know,
cool.
you're in the
Yeah,
know.
he knew. It was
April
really cool.
30th, 2004.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, that's been in our lexicon for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, indeed.
It also surprises me how old Halloweentown is at this point.
Yeah.
You could tell it's old too because it was made for TV. It's the little box, the like aspect ratio that you're looking
The
at.
theater was in the fucking aspect ratio as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
also
I was like,
fucking old ass theater. So I was like, this is like you watch it and the video quality is shit because
Yeah.
cameras in the 90s were just starting to get into the digital.
And
Now,
then, of course,
the-
the makeup effects are a little interesting, and let's not forget the green screen moments.
Oh, exactly.
Great.
Yes.
It's like sitting in front of a fan.
I love the
Look,
broom ride. It was the best.
flying.
It was
That-
the first broom ride.
That actually ended up spawning a question for all of us, which is how the fuck do you actually ride the broom?
Yeah.
is-
Wouldn't
I
it be
feel like-
uncomfortable to like be on it like a bicycle?
I mean, I think you just get used to it. You have to like gain muscle, you know? It's like how strippers are able to stay on a pole. You just gotta squeeze it hard enough, you know? So you just get on the broom, squeeze with them thighs, and like you're pretty secure, honestly.
So-
Okay, I felt gypped when I found out that the fucking poles actually spin themselves.
Oh.
Yeah.
The pole
Yeah.
itself moves. It's not them like going around it.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't make sense because like there's so much, you need the friction to stay on the pole in the first place. So how would you be able to spin if you have that much friction?
Well, I
holding
just
you
thought they
on?
were like magic, so it was like they were just really good at it. But
I
then
mean,
I
it's
found out
true.
that they actually spin, and I was like, oh,
The secret's out.
Kinda
All
let
strippers,
down.
all strippers are genies.
They're able to use magic in all kinds of ways, similar to the way that you're able to stick onto that broom. So yes, it's either magic to stay on the broom or magic to feel more comfortable.
I
on
would
the
guess,
broom.
yeah, it's just magic. I mean, is this kind of like one of those weird add-ons? Like, I think, what was it? J.K. Rowling said that fucking wizards were just shitting randomly,
And then they
like,
poof the
and then
magic
just
Oh,
poofing it to
yeah.
like away. They didn't really have like they didn't use the bathrooms, and we're like, we didn't need to know this. We
Well,
did not
There's
need
a
to know
random
this.
Twitter fact, just
Yeah.
like the fucking wizards leave their random shits everywhere. and
Yeah,
poof
I was
them
like,
away.
what the fuck is it? Okay.
Well, we don't care about J.K. Rowling anymore.
Yeah,
she
fuck
can
J.K.
Right.
Rowling.
fuck J.K. Rowling. I digress.
Yeah, I digress from hating J.K. Rowling because she's just awful. But I would guess you would just do like the side saddle where you're like sitting on it sideways. You know what
That
I'm talking
is-
about? Like when you had like a dress on and you had to do the side saddle on a horse.
But that was like exclusively for like parading when you're just walking on your horse.
Oh,
Now, if
that's
you're really
fair.
riding on your horse, you're gonna fall off that bitch. You need to hold on with both legs.
No.
We don't really know how you're fucking handling it up all the way up there.
Wasn't there a? I'll have to look it up. But there's a popular character that would always ride side saddle, and she was able to like shoot a gun too while she was doing it.
Damn.
I remember seeing something out of some movie. I can't remember which one it was, but there was this girl who was trying to ride a horse and she couldn't do it side saddle like she was supposed to. So she got a wooden leg to put on one side so it looked like she was riding side
then
saddle, but she was really on it properly.
Oh,
Do you remember what that was?
No, that's so specific.
You
I feel like I
sound
should
very
know.
Badass.
So-
I bet if you Google that exact line, you will
Yeah.
find it.
I'm not going to take that time though.
Love it.
Okay.
But
Back
what
to the-
else did you guys enjoy about Halloweentown, though? There's a lot of things in it that are just really quirky, and it goes into like random magic that they use. Like we were talking about, like at the beginning, how you said the bubble.
Yes, my
Practical
favorite
magic.
part about this movie is just all of the convenient appliances
Right.
that are in Halloweentown, because it is technically like an alternate universe that they have access to only on Halloween night, which is also very fitting considering that Halloween night, aka Samhain, is known as the time where the veil between the other worlds is the thinnest, and so spirits can cross through at that time, and so it makes sense that the only time you could come to the mortal world or vice versa is on Halloween, when that veil is lifted. But yeah, so I liked all the little convenience items. They had like the instant witch's brew that was in the box that
Fantastic.
she used for her cauldron, and then she popped her cauldron in their magic microwave. And my favorite settings on there were bubble, boil, and trouble.
Gotta hit that bubble
I
twice,
think
everybody.
it was toil as well. There's so many settings. I'm like, how would you cook beef though? Would that be like toil? Would it be boil?
You gotta.
But what does it do? Like,
It boils it. It toils it, and it gives you some of that trouble.
Yeah. Bubble, bubble, toil, and trouble.
I'm assuming it's like a really cool whirlpool effect in there. You know, like when
Yeah.
you put aluminum in the microwave. Everybody do that?
What if
Get
it
that
like
shiny
turns
ball of
the
aluminum.
beef into soup? If you use bubble, it makes beef soup.
Oof. With just an eye of newts and a bat's wing. You too can make this chili homemade with your own microwave.
I wonder what's in the instant brew. Like, what would be
Oh,
the
that was perfect. I
ingredients?
loved the box. It was very, very with the times. As soon as the powder hits the cauldron, the little tiny bubbles come out. It actually flows exactly like it's supposed to. fantastic.
It was funny too because she used that brew to put in the talisman, which we'll talk about later. And the talisman doesn't work, and she's like, dang, I knew I shouldn't have used the instant brew.
You can't be using modern conveniences when you're trying to use ancient magic. Now, can you?
True. Fun fact. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, so let's talk about this villain, Calabar, aka the mayor.
Or you mean her dad?
Because
they were fucking.
They may have been fucking, but I'm certain that it wasn't her dad because he made a big point to be like, "You left me for a mortal."
Yes, he had a lot of Snape vibes.
Yeah, he had hella Snape vibes.
You left me. I hate your children because they remind me of
obsessed
you.
with her for the rest of the film.
Oh, him picking her up in front of her kids.
Yeah.
As soon as he saw her. Very weird.
Right, like
What was
that
it, the
line where
haunts?
he was like, "Yes, we can go back to our old haunts." Like, oh, so y'all were fucking, huh?
But it didn't explain why the mom's hair was red, and the only kid who had red hair was the random one who ended up being like a troll or whatever the fuck at the end.
Yes, you're right.
So I was just like, why do none of your kids have red hair?
The henchman.
Yes, the henchman dude. I forget his name.
Also known as the henchman.
Yeah,
That's why they're
henchman
henchmen.
Who sold his soul to look handsome.
Eesh. Yeah, no, yeah. What was it? What was the line? Oh, I didn't do anything. I wasn't cast under a spell. I just did it to be handsome.
I'm like, you were handsome before?
She called him a cheese ball.
Yeah.
Oh, that was perfect. This is the most brutal line that you could have at that time. Cheese ball.
Cheese ball. I'm gonna start using that again. You look like a fucking cheese ball.
I like the broom salesman who's like, that kid turned out to be just such a wiener.
Oh,
You're like, this is
yeah.
great.
The salesman was like, oh no.
I feel like I had seen the salesman before. Like, despite all of the makeup that he had on, he looked so familiar. He almost looked like fucking Bruce Lee or some shit, just with like a bunch of makeup on. I think it was the hair, honestly.
Yeah,
He
it's
had a
probably
lot
the
of
hair.
personality.
He had a lot of personality.
My guy really wanted you to get this broom.
It's like, you see this broom? It's got 500 horsepower.
I love it.
A
I love that it
turbine
was just
engine.
like random brooms with just random shit stapled on it.
Yeah.
99-cent store broom with
Yeah.
some plastic on it. It's good stuff, dude.
It made me think of the Harry Potter shit when they're like, ooh, look at the new Nimbus, whatever. And it was like this
You mean
fancy shit.
The Nimbus 2000.
Yeah.
2000.
Just because it was like 2000 whenever when that movie came out.
Yeah. 2000 was the thing. It's the new millennium.
Yeah, that was
That's
it.
how
New
you know that
millennium.
shit's high tech.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, what?
Those things looked like something you would find in the Jetsons, though.
Yeah, with like the little like colored rings they
Yeah.
had around them, and it's all kind of angular.
It didn't make
shaped.
sense to me. It wasn't like Halloween themed always. It was like futuristic style.
Yeah, well, that was the interesting thing about the town is despite it being Halloween, it's not like everyone was like a monster per se. There definitely were like trolls and ogres and stuff
Yeah.
running around, but there's also like
Pumpkin
somebody dressed
heads.
like he was from the Civil War. This woman with a big pumpkin around her.
Oh,
There was even
yes.
some people that were dressed like Victorian age style,
Yeah.
and I was like, is it just any costume and you can live here? Like,
I like that the werewolf was a hairdresser.
oh yeah.
Just a sassy hairdresser.
Oh my god, I think my favorite part from that is the woman who's like a bush basically,
Oh.
and he runs over and he's like, no, she's not a shrub, she's an herb. You have to be delicate.
It's like salad.
It's like salad.
Perfect.
And then he fucking gets his mullet shaved because they needed the hair for
Yeah.
some ingredients.
That was fun too. So of course the magic instant witch's brew didn't work out, so they had to actually go out and collect the actual ingredients because, you know, Grandma and Ma got shocked by our evil villain and were trapped in this theater. So then the kids had to go around and actually like collect all the ingredients for everything, which was a hair of a wolf, a tooth of a vampire, and ghost sweat,
Ghost
which was
sweat.
very controversial because if ghosts don't have bodies,
How do they
they sweat?
Ectoplasm?
I suppose. What is ectoplasm anyways? I know it's always associated with ghosts, but like how?
I feel
What
like
is sweat?
Ghostbusters popularized that.
Yeah,
Didn't
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Oh, man.
Ectoplasmic goo.
And they would just ended up having it all over at some point. Like they would be finding it, and that's how they tracked down some of the ghosts that were coming
Yeah.
through.
What are you talking about? My favorite ghost hunter apparel that I got from online is supposed to detect all of the ectoplasm in the area. I was assured to me by the YouTube channel.
It's like an ad that you got for it. They just keep showing it to you.
I like how we went from Ghostbusters to Ghostbusters. It's just like we wanted hoverboards, and we have hoverboards.
Not quite hoverboards, but hoverboards.
Hoverboards.
I want actual hoverboards. I know the technology is out there.
It's out there.
Just get a broom and stand on it like a surfboard.
But where's it gonna go? Do I just
You're
kind
in
of like scoot
Halloweentown?
along with my fucking broom?
Witches have to scoot before they fly.
True. That brings me to another fun fact. Do y'all know the true origin of the witch's broom?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so this is a little explicit, so children, if you're listening, cover your ears.
I feel like it has something to do with female masturbation.
Exactly. So what the witch's broom used to be is, back in the day, people that were practitioners of herbology, magic, alchemy, all that stuff, they knew their plants pretty well. They knew which ones are hallucinogenic and how to take them. There were certain hallucinogenic herbs that could only be invited into the bloodstream through ways besides like taking it orally. And so what the witch's broom is they would anoint a piece of wood or something soft with this hallucinogenic chemical and then masturbate with it, and they would have hallucinations and they would have the sensation of flying. So that's where the legend of witches' brooms come from. They just, ride the broom and then they're flying. You feel me?
Oh my God. I didn't know it was that
The
detailed.
most on the nose explanation for anything that I've ever heard of. But damn, yeah.
Oh my God. And
Sounds
so
like fun.
what, at some point it just got translated into them like actually flying on the broom?
Well,
The
yeah,
telephone
because
game.
it's got to be consumable for a larger audience, and you can't just talk about masturbation with everybody. Not everyone's ready for that conversation,
You
but
ready?
everybody knows they do it. I'm looking at you, conservative Christians.
Oh.
One of Us Entertainment presents.
Oh.
Disney.
Disney.
Thanks, Disney.
Thanks, Disney. We got a lot of good information.
That's
out
funny.
Of this.
Walt Disney's rolling in his grave.
No, Walt Disney's
no, I've
rolling
been
in his
exposed.
cryogenic
Yeah.
area.
Wakes up. What's the joke that they had? He wakes up. He's like, "Are the Jews still here?" You're like, "Oh my God."
That's the one.
Yeah, it's always been kind of a tough thing about watching like older Disney things now, and I'm like, oh, he was kind of racist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but-
remember that. What was the other one? The robot chicken? He was trying to look for the little Brazilian boy.
Oh my God.
Miguel.
I feel like that's so specific. Like
I'll
if you
bring
do,
back robot
like-
chicken if any way I can.
I remember just like being half asleep and then the robot chicken theme would come on. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh,
It just like
yeah.
wakes you up. Yeah. I love that it was actually all the dudes who ran the show who did the fucking chicken sounds. It was all of them. They all decided to record themselves doing it.
Man, there's some wild things on Adult Swim. I used to love waking up to just those trippy montages, and I'm like, kind of coming out of a dream, and I'm like, what's this?
Adult Swim was just a panel of dudes on coke just being like, you know what we should fucking do? We should make a show about people in hell. And they're like, we are pretty
You're
faces
pretty-
going to hell.
that.
Man, they're on a plethora of drugs, I'm sure.
And then what
Hey,
was
the
it?
Hershey Holler?
The Mighty
You
Boosh?
can't do the Mighty Boosh. You can't do all these shows if you're not tripping on something or had a delightful childhood
Oh my
and
God.
had a fucking fun adulthood.
Yeah,
to do
exactly. I loved all of those shows, late night stuff.
The nostalgia for both is intense.
Yeah,
And
for
I
real.
love it.
Were you around? Oh, were you around? Were you watching
Yes.
Adult Swim when they premiered Toonami? Just no announcing. They just started it. They had been gone for years, and then suddenly Toonami just started at midnight. And,
Yep. They
and
were
people
like,
were like, "Wait, did it just turn back on?"
what
Yeah, I
happened
remember
to
that.
what happened to Moakwa Teen Hunger Force? Nah, son, Tom's back.
Yeah, just Tom comes on. And it's like, "You want to watch some Gundam Wing?"
Yes. I'm not here for this, but yes.
It's like,
I
no,
am
no,
now
no.
here for this.
It's like how you got introduced to Cowboy Bebop. Fucking
That's how
all the anime.
America was introduced to Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
I digress from Adult Swim.
Back to the 90s.
Well,
Oh,
that's-
wait, no, that's still.
Right, I know we're still in the 90s. Halloweentown, though, is also like a representation of what was going on like in the 90s. Like instant things was a huge thing in the 90s. Like we had so many meals that you could just throw in the microwave.
The TV dinner.
So the
TV
TV dinner was super popular late 80s, early 90s. So this is why you saw it in the movie, because they knew everybody had a microwave at that time that looked probably exactly like that. But of course the numbers are different.
Yeah.
Because they added in those effects.
You don't have bubble, toil and trouble.
It'd be cool if they had like a sticker you could put onto your microwave.
Are you saying that your microwave doesn't have a delightful little witch symbol right below it so you can hit enter?
Man, I wish.
There's like 10 plus buttons on my microwave I don't use because I just don't know what the fuck they do.
Same. I wonder if anyone else has that problems. I just use like the numbers.
If only they had.
And then the power settings. That's all I ever use.
Yeah,
for
pretty
that.
much.
If only they had an instruction manual for this device.
For reals.
Just inherited this microwave.
Where's the PDF for this thing? Start smacking it.
I always forget that's a thing you can do. You can go and find the PDF for like any instruction manual of anything you buy.
The internet. You can use it to shit on people, or you can use it to gain knowledge.
Find,
of some sort.
Yeah, it has every single bit of information you ever need it. But besides
they had a cauldron that they were able to use as the internet, which is how they were able to see Darth Sidious over there.
Their TV cauldron.
Which also, how are you gonna stare at this cauldron at all these times at the 90-degree angle that you?
Yeah, you're like staring down into it. Did you guys have any favorite scenes from Halloweentown? Anything that stuck out?
I have a favorite character, which would be the taxi driver. And his
taxi driver.
With his weird bone eyebrows.
his delightful puns and his, let's say, erratic eyebrows.
Yeah, that was something I didn't quite get, because bones don't move.
Yeah.
Bones are just there, okay? No, they stay.
You guys can't see it, but everybody's doing them. It's like The Rock trying to do his signature move, but great. He just doesn't know how. And the entire time he's just saying bone puns.
The whole time.
Puns. I'm surprised he didn't make a boner pun, because I was expecting that.
I was
honestly.
waiting for it. I'm assuming a sequel. I'm assuming a sequel took care of that.
It was a puppet, right?
It was an animatronic.
No, I'm pretty sure there was a dude, because there's at some point they had that like an overhead shot.
Yeah.
And I could see the actual like face of the actor coming out above from the mask that he was wearing.
Oh, is that what you guys were talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, there was like a fish guy right next to him while he was talking. So he was talking.
It's like holding him.
Yeah. It was super Jeff Dunhaming it.
That's great.
Exactly.
I don't know how the fuck Jeff Dunham became famous. Anyway,
that point in time of Comedy Central, we were really needing something, and apparently a puppet.
It's like Dave Chappelle had gone away.
Yeah, no, exactly. Carlos Mencia was doing Carlos Mencia shit.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was a dark time for us.
That was a dark time for Comedy Central.
Let's go back to Adult Swim.
But I liked the humor for for the weird skeleton cabbie that would just like drive erratically too. And apparently he was the only driver around.
Crazy taxi. It was a psychic cab, right?
Yeah.
Psychic cab with the Illuminati eye.
Yeah.
I like how they were like, how do you even see? And they're like, it's a psychic cab. I just know where I'm going. His
eye socket's crazy moving around while he's just seeing through his mind's eye.
What the fuck?
You're focused on the eyebrows. You don't see the mind's eye.
Wait, does that mean that if people just needed a taxi, he would just show up?
Probably.
Like they didn't even have to call him, because I'm pretty sure
he knows where everybody is, because he just drove up on the kids and we're like, "Hey, you need a ride?"
I think she snaps or whistles or something.
Yeah.
And then he just shows up. I'm just
like,
how did you hear
that snap was for me.
Yeah. So who knows?
It's the Hot Tub Time Machine 2 taxis of Halloweentown.
Fucking Hot Tub Time Machine. Holy shit. Doesn't he end up being like his own dad in that? In Hot Tub Time Machine? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, because he fucked his mom.
His grandma?
No, that's Futurama. That's Futurama.
Oh, shit, that's right. No, it happened in both.
That's a very common trope for time travel movies.
What is this Oedipus shit?
I don't know. It's super weird.
Yeah,
it's just like George Lucas being like brother, sister making out. I don't know. It's weird.
That's
people like their incest stuff and stuff. You know, Game of Thrones shit.
Game of Thrones, fuck.
Game of Thrones.
Although it was much more explicit in the books.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure.
Game of Thrones, they're really fucked.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the actual running name of it before they changed it to Game of Thrones?
A Song of Ice and Fire.
Song of Ice and Fire.
Game of
They
Thrones,
really
the
fuck.
movie was not the movie. The TV series was based off of.
Game of Thrones is the Netflix version.
Yeah.
And Song of Ice and Fire is where they really do the orgies and shit.
They do the nasty.
No, sorry, they do incesty stuff there. You right? I watched that shit.
Although it was like that's the Cinemax version.
Wasn't that the Roman one?
Oh, fucking Spartacus.
Spartacus, that's the one that they did that in. Remember Spartacus?
I've not seen so much dick than in fucking Spartacus, dude. Holy shit. Full frontal nudity constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. Well, there's like a scene where the like rich ladies of Rome are like paying to fuck gladiators. So they like have these dudes just standing there with their junk out and be like, yeah, I want that dude.
Rings the bell. I want that one.
And they say
please.
cock constantly in that show.
What was the Roman version of cock?
They just said, I don't
Just
know.
a
I guess
cock?
it's been around for a while. They were just using that term in that time period.
I don't know. I feel like they just converted it to more modern linguists. So
well, they were
people could
missing
understand
words. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like there was filler words that should have been in there, but they hadn't been invented yet. So the script is written weird.
it. Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to watch blood, violence, and sex, go watch Spartacus. You'll enjoy it.
There you go. Don't get that last season in Game of Thrones. Go rewatch Spartacus.
Anyways, back to Halloween.
Right, yeah, I digress back to...
Big ass tangent. Shit, what were we talking about? Yeah, favorite scenes.
Favorite scenes, characters.
All right, what's your favorite scene?
I mean... it's really cheesy, but like when the family's all together at the end,
And they all hold
hands
she's
and
just
do the
talking
song?
shit, like, where she's like, "Well, if we had the whole family," and then
by
it turns into
yourself.
like a Star Wars lightsaber battle.
Oh, exactly. She had a fucking mini wand in her sleeve.
She totally had like a chicken's foot.
Yeah, a gold chicken foot.
took my machete. Here's my switchblade. Nah. I'm still got something. Come on.
I actually don't know what my favorite scene is. I kind of had a favorite character though.
Who's your
I
favorite
like that like
character?
skeptical little boy that was running around trying to logic away everything that was happening.
Oh, the brother?
Yeah, he was like, "No, that's not really happening. It's that walking bag. It's a remote control thing, right? Yeah, right."
He's a pocket accountant, man. He looks like every
Right.
90s dad in TV anything miniaturized.
Yes. Oh my god.
That just makes me think of Breaking Bad, of the dad.
Yep, no, that's Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah,
the
from
tiny
Malcolm in the
version.
Middle.
Yeah.
But you got to give him the Macaulay Culkin glasses from Bookkeepers. Yeah, that was the one.
That's such
Bookmaster. That's the one.
Oh yeah, okay. I was like, wait.
The Bookmaster. I can't be having these deep cuts if I can't remember the movie names.
I had forgotten about that. Holy shit. Let's
Page
put
Master.
that at the back of my
Page
mind.
Right?
Master.
Yeah. Is that the one where they go into like a cartoon?
Yep, he goes
world?
into the books, and
Yeah.
it's like a treasure thing, and it's a horror thing.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. It's like the circular glasses that you saw
If you don't want to use Harry
yeah.
Potter, you have to use that movie. They're also Coke bottle glasses. That's a lot easier to say.
I thought the Coke bottle ones were the thicker ones.
Then you got to say that they're the thick Coke bottle ones.
Oh, geez. Now we're getting... this is semantics.
Don't you know, there's many different types of Coke bottles. We have to specify, is this American Coke? Is this Mexican Coke?
Is it the real sugar?
Is it that
this...
real Coke? A cola?
Are you talking about phenylamine? I'm not drinking that Coke Zero right
I
now.
love that. Where it's like, oh, man, you're not feeling well? You should do Coke about it.
I mean,
You got ghosts in your blood.
You got some ghost.
that's what Sigmund Freud decided to do.
That's literally their fucking treatment for all of the women they thought were going crazy in the 1800s.
You need masturbation and Coke.
Yeah.
You're right, doctor. That fucking pepped me right up.
Sounds great. That was like when they were freaking out about people riding bicycles.
Oh yeah, the bicycles was the devil's work, and
Yeah.
electricity? No, not electricity. It'll sap your soul.
I love the ads for that.
It's 1G, not 5G now.
Also, speaking of electricity, the little kid looked like he was about to shoot electricity out of his hands.
I'm saying
Some
he's
Sith.
a Sith.
Yeah.
he
some
was
Sith
he
stuff.
was turning into Palpatine as soon as Palpatine got out of there. Because
Right.
he
Yeah,
poofed
it's
away,
like-
right? He just went poof.
I
Yeah.
guess so.
He
He-
like
he
disappeared into the nether or
He
whatever.
inhaled the poof, and that's when he got the lightning powers.
And that's kind of how it works in the world of Star Wars, is once the Sith Lord dies, someone else takes his place, and I guess it's the little kid. Oh, what if there's a Halloweentown 5 where that kid is like now the evil villain?
They're both Disney properties, aren't they?
Well, now they are.
Oh,
I
shit.
think,
Wizards.
I think when those movies, the original Star Wars and then the 1, 2, and 3 came out, they weren't under Disney's control at that time. But now they are.
I mean, he did see the future, didn't he? He knew he was going to sell it to Disney.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Although recently they've been saying he wants it back, and they're just like, we're not going to sell it back.
I hope he gets it back. I can't stand these Disneyized movies that I'm watching. I'm like, there's way too much humor in this.
You guys focus on
But like not even the
Marvel
humor that I
or-
want. It's like
or-
Disney humor, not like normal people humor.
All of Halloweentown and pretty much any movie that was on the Disney Channel had this weird humor that was in it, and it was even made more awkward by the fact that there was no laugh track.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you just like, they would like say a joke and then wait.
I completely forgot the absence of like a studio audience in this movie, because I forgot that we watched it this way instead of on like how we would normally watch it on the Disney Channel.
Right.
Whatever their theme is.
With so many fucking commercials.
Exactly. So I
God.
think I'm fairly certain that took place of all like the music that we would have heard. So
That's
watching
true.
it all together, it sounded just like,
Yeah, you're like, I don't know about this.
this Halloweentown is kind of like a ghost town right now.
Also, for the Halloweentown, they didn't really show more than just like 2-3 different locations, so
It's
we don't
Back
really
to the
know how big it
Future.
is.
It's
Yeah.
always in the town square.
Yeah.
You always see the town
Exactly.
And technically it's supposed to be an entire world. So what does like Halloweentown on the other side of the globe look like? Like what is European Halloweentown? Because I feel like that was American Halloweentown.
Square.
What does Mexican Halloweentown look like?
You right.
Bet it's lit.
Yo!
Oh,
you
that brings me
said it
back.
was lit.
It's
Oh.
lit.
We were like, that aged nicely.
I changed. No, I said favorite character. That's my favorite scene.
Yeah, where the kids got the talisman to light up and work, and then the little boy was like, "It's lit."
Ooh. Studio audience.
All of us fucking lost it. We were like, this is great.
It's lit.
That's not aged like milk. That's aged like a fine wine. We really needed that in 2020 right now.
Can you imagine just being like 80 years old and be like, yo, that shit's lit. And then your grandchild's like, okay, grandpa, it's time to go to sleep.
Take your medicine.
Put on your VR goggles.
I love
and take
those.
your
I love
medicine,
those
Grandpa.
memes
Oh
where
my
it's like,
God.
okay, grandpa. They're like pushing him in a wheelchair.
Now listen here, Jack.
I love those memes, and I love the one with the old person who is like, you didn't listen to that band. You're a fucking liar with your liar shirt, you little shit.
Oh, fuck. It's like watching a fucking, like, yeah. Oh, God. It's watching a kid come out of fucking Hot Topic with a Black Flag t-shirt, and you're like, okay.
Well, I feel like this is a good time to get into some Hocus Pocus. What do you
Yes.
say?
Including the 2 times that they did say Hocus Pocus in the movie Hocus
Oh,
Pocus.
They
yes.
did the
I
thing.
love when they do the thing.
They did the thing. Bart said the line.
There's not a whole lot of movies that do that, though.
No.
So anytime it happens in a movie, I'm like, yeah, they did it on purpose.
I'll super point out my nose and point out the screen whenever that happens. It's disgusting and I like it.
All right, so Hocus Pocus. This is another 93 movie, back when Disney was a little bit different. This movie was directed by Kenny Ortega, and it is starring Betty Milder, Sarah Jessica Parker, as we all know and love from Sex and the City, Kathy Najimy, Omri Katz, Thora Birch, and Vanessa Shaw. Lovely. Although I was really here for Sarah Jessica Parker, I'm just saying.
It's like the one character everyone had a crush on when they were watching it.
Oh, man.
Sarah
Let's
Jessica
see.
Parker, I'm fairly certain in that one movie made the standard for witches in the 90s.
Yeah.
Right there
Yeah.
for at the very least costumes.
Yeah, that's true.
She was very Stevie Nicks, too, with her look. The long, blonde hair and the twirling. Always twirling. She was always spinning. Did you notice
She was
that?
always touching
What?
herself awkwardly.
Yeah.
You were
Was she
like,
one
what's
of-
happening?
Was she one of the first Manic Pixie Girls? And was it a Disney... Was it a Disney invention? These are the real
Whoa.
questions.
Oh,
that we have.
dang.
Yo.
Trying to steal the thunder from Scott Pilgrim.
Damn. All right, so this movie, I actually do have a budget for this one. The budget was $28 million.
Holy shit!
And
Wow.
it made in the box office $43.4 million. So they made their money back.
Yeah,
Okay,
almost doubled
right
it.
on.
As they should. This movie is like a classic. I feel like everybody knows what Hocus Pocus is, along with Halloweentown, but this generation grew up watching those movies on Disney.
We went from one movie with too many sequels to one movie with a recently announced sequel.
Yeah, I just saw that. They were actually planning on releasing a Hocus Pocus 2 this year. However, due to Miss Rona, production got slowed down a bit, but I hear they're planning on releasing it Halloween of next year.
Yeah.
If
Nice.
things go accordingly.
Next year is about to have so many fucking films drop.
Yeah.
Because they've all been delayed.
All the
It's
films
the
that
it's
are
the
on hold.
writers strike all over again.
Yeah,
A bunch
exactly.
of weird and creative stuff is just gonna pop off as soon as
Yeah.
they're able to have the chance to. It's gonna be fantastic. I very much
A
look
lot of
forward
cool
to it.
movies, I think, will end up coming out.
So this movie is set in Salem. They don't mention which Salem because there are two Salems. There's one
Yeah.
in Oregon and Massachusetts. But considering Massachusetts was where the witch trials took place, I'm going to assume it's Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah, they actually are hung in the movie
Yeah.
for
They
being
were.
witches.
Which was interesting
In the first
to see.
5 minutes, if I
yeah,
remember
like
correctly.
Yeah.
super quick.
And
A
it
lot
was
of
for
other
stealing children from the village, which I was kind of thinking the whole time, like, is this kind of like a reference to pedophilia almost? Like they're obsessed with little children and stealing their youth and their soul.
They really leaned into them wanting to be youthful at the beginning of it, but then as the movie progressed, she got very possessive over one child.
Yeah,
Right.
obsessive.
It was
Obsessive,
also weird
yes.
to hear Sarah Jessica Parker just be like, "Let me play with him," and you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, wanting to play with these
While the-
young boys.
Yeah, while that kid was
Yeah,
like super
yeah.
bags up on the wall. Yeah, right before he turned into a cat.
Yes.
Which I might also add is they used that animatronic for the Salem the cat in Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh,
fucking love that cat.
love it.
So I remember while watching this movie again, having flashbacks to remembering watching it as a kid, and then kind of remembering watching that show, going, wait,
This is the same
yep.
cat.
And then I looked it up. It is using CGI and animatronics for that delightful little kitty.
I liked how many outfits that cat had in Sabrina. He would just change outfits constantly. Or I think one time he got injured and was like in a full body cast with like glasses on.
He has many costume changes.
Also, the cat in Hocus Pocus, the kid had like the perfect voice for a movie.
Yeah.
It's so distinct, and it's like one of those voices you hear. You're like, I gotta put you like in something, and it ended up just being a cat, I guess, for the rest of the
It
movie.
was the perfect, like, colonial voice. You
yeah,
know?
that's true.
Kid,
Little
you gotta,
old English.
With their white flowy shirts.
Yes.
dude, the pirate shirt.
The
Yeah,
puffy pirate
straight up
shirts.
pirate shirts.
I wish we could bring those back because I love the way those look.
Those are great.
You
You
mean,
have a puffy pirate
I
shirt.
you mean we're not bringing
But you're
them
always
back?
too embarrassed to wear it out. Why won't you wear the puffy pirate shirt?
Yeah, we gotta.
I don't need to be called out like this on the podcast.
We said this was the roast of Jonathan.
Oh, man,
Did we
secret
not?
roast.
Bringing it back. Roast noises.
No. It also makes me think of Sleepy Hollow
Ah,
because they had
Hollow.
fantastic outfits in
The
Sleepy
ghoul
Hollow.
also kept losing his head, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I can remember his name, he kept losing his head. And after the little moth came out.
He had to he had to like unstitch his mouth so that he could
Yeah,
say
so
something.
the story behind that is one of the witches, I think it was Sarah Sanderson. She's like she's the head bitch witch. And she had a lover whose name is
In
escaping
charge.
me. And she found out that her lover was sneaking around with her sister, who was played by Sarah Jessica Parker. Of course, the slut. And so she cursed him by binding his mouth shut, by sewing it shut so he could never speak again. And then I think she killed him. Oh, he
Yes.
might have just died over time, but
He was in the cemetery for.
She kept
reasons
resurrecting
not-
him.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she
I
was using
assume
it.
if you sew someone's mouth shut, they can't eat, so they'll probably just die of starvation. So, anyways, she brought him back as like their evil henchman, but honestly, he was not for it. He ended up being a good guy.
Yeah, he was sick of helping them, so he ends up assisting them in the end.
He said,
But
I like
so-
these kids. They're actually pretty cool.
The story starts with us getting the little like background story about where the witches came from and what they did, and then flash forward to the future, and we have this family that just moved from sunny California to Massachusetts. to go for whatever reason. They never really explained why they moved there in the first place, because I don't know why you would want to move to Massachusetts.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever mentioned it. It could have just been like parents' job or something. That's usually the reason they use.
Yeah.
Do the throwaway line, you guys. We're here for
Yeah, and that's it.
Parents' business.
Yes, parents' business. And I like how they even talked about it, the story of the sisters in like their school classes. And the main dude, he was like, this sounds like a load of baloney. Everybody knows that Halloween was invented by the candy company.
Turns out to be a punk. He gets his fucking shoes stolen.
Yeah, oh, that was my favorite part, is the two dudes, it was ice.
Oh my god, he literally has ice shaved in the back of his head.
And then this other like fucking Kurt Cobain wannabe looking dude that were just these punk asses hanging out in the graveyard. They're like, where are you from?
Supposed to be like
Hollywood.
rebellious teenagers.
What's up, dude?
Hollywood. I love how
Nice
that's an insult.
cross trainers.
Nice cross trainers, Hollywood.
Insult from fucking Midwest kids.
Yeah. It's like, wow.
What's the other one? What's up, college boy?
That makes me think of the
that an
boomers who are
insult?
just like, oh, you think you're so smart now that you went to college. What the fuck?
It's like, weren't you the one telling me for years that I have to go to college or I'll have no future? Where's
College
your
boy.
future, huh? I'm gonna have no future because of you. Anyways,
Thanks, Ronald Reagan.
God.
Trickle down economics has really worked out for us guys. Fake smile.
So the main guy, he's in class and talking all this shit about Halloween, and then there's a girl that comes in who I guess her family used to own the now museum of the Sanderson
Right.
sisters' house.
that's
and
right,
she's
she's the
like,
owner.
no, actually, it's because of All Hallows Eve. That's what Halloween is based off of, which is also
Wrong.
not quite correct. I mean, All Hallows Eve did come about eventually as more of like a harvest thing, because that's when you want to harvest all your fruits and stuff. However, Halloween is based off of Samhain, which, as we talked about earlier, is one of the pagan holidays, which
Yep.
is where the dead can cross over into the living world and just hang out with their relatives and maybe cause some havoc.
That
Love
veil
it.
is lifted.
The veil is lifted. So the dude ends up going to the Sanderson house trying to impress this girl as he's trick-or-treating with his little sister. They happen upon her house, and she's like, want to go check out the museum? And obviously the dude wants to go get her in this cute little abandoned house.
We have to remind everybody, they've said a couple of virgin jokes at this point in time.
Yes.
This is back-to-back virgin jokes.
Yeah.
Just like, look at this
We
pathetic
completely glossed
version.
over like the 15. We're a virgin, Hollywood.
I love when she's like, of course a virgin would light this. And you're like, oh, damn, all right.
Yeah.
Can't light a
so-
candle in fucking darkness? Okay, shit.
As the sisters were being hung in the beginning, they planted a curse basically where if a virgin lit the candle on Halloween, then they would come back to life. And
So
lo and
specific.
behold, this virgin boy comes in with his trying to be boo thing, lights the candle after this cat jumps on him and is like, no, don't do that. AKA Thackeray Binks, that has lived for now
Fucking
hundreds of
Thackeray.
years.
Thackeray.
What is that
Thackeray.
name?
Thackeray
I,
is
for the
Pirate
longest, I thought his name was Zachary until
Yeah,
I
me
watched
too.
this movie with subtitles, and I was like, Thackeray?
What if they
Boy.
just got it
fat
wrong?
TH right there.
What if?
What if the subtitles just got it wrong and they were like, oh shit, we actually spelled it wrong?
You know what? He's always going to be Zachary for me.
I think it did actually say Thackeray in the credits
Yeah.
when we were looking at it.
It's
Yeah.
the Z with the fancy line in the middle. That's why they thought it was a TH.
I love that. It's like when you write a 7 with a line through it, it's like, I'm fancy.
Fancy. But yeah, for a Disney movie, they definitely talked a lot about sex, a lot more than I would assume, because obviously talking about virgins implies the absence of sex, which
Yeah.
also implies sex.
Also, smoking cigarettes. The kids are like, you got some
Yes.
smokes?
Oh,
The kids in the
yes.
graveyard wanted to smoke some cigarettes.
Well, actually, no. What
What
did
else are
he
you
say?
gonna
What
do
did
in
he
the
call it?
graveyard?
It wasn't. He didn't say cigarettes. He said something specific to the area.
You want any butts? You got
Yeah,
any
that's
butts,
what
bro?
it was.
Butts.
Butts. I love smoking butts.
I love that everybody has a
City
bunch
called
of different ways to call cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Like
true.
you hear smokes, just like random.
Smokes. I've heard Luckies because of the Lucky Strike
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Luckies.
Cancer sticks.
Death sticks.
Star Wars. Do you want to buy
sticks.
some death sticks?
There used to be fags was also
That's
cigarettes,
true. And then
smoking
people
fags.
thought it was an
Okay.
insult at some point.
Yeah, I guess the origination of fags is fags was a bundle of sticks.
Yeah.
And that eventually got us attributed to cigarettes and a bundle of little sticks. And then somehow was attributed to people who are homosexual or queer.
The wartime effort really helped out with that. As
Yeah.
soon as the U.S.
Yep.
soldiers went over there and asked for a couple cigarettes, they said, "What did you say?"
That's also where flipping a cigarette became popularized because if you could finish a pack of cigarettes while you were deployed, you were considered very lucky.
Yep.
That's like the origin of some of those things. Yeah, it's just random shit that pops up like that.
What is it? Hands across the world, and we got knowledge around.
What?
I can't remember.
What is this alternate
Beer
reality
Fest.
we just entered?
BFS.
We just did a whole song. Also, we just heard a scream.
Also that. It is Halloween, isn't it?
Yes.
Getting there.
Halloween is in
I like
the
how
air.
Halloween's the one day where we just don't question shit like that.
Oh, is that just a random scream in the middle of the night?
Perfect time to like murder people.
And just saying this Halloween's on a full moon, and the full moon's when the creeps come out. Also, in this movie, it was a full moon on Halloween.
It was. Yes, it was.
Ah, yes, very fitting.
1993.
I didn't know it was a full moon on Halloween this year. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's actually a blue moon, too, because we had a full moon the first day of October.
Oh,
Yep.
shit.
It was, and it's also on a Saturday for us.
Hell yeah.
Which is amazing.
We haven't had a Saturday Halloween in a while.
Yeah.
I was really hoping to do some actual Halloween-y type stuff. But
Yeah.
sticking around home, staying safe, and watching these two delightful movies is
Ah, yes.
as fun Halloween-y as we can do for right now.
And so the whole like premise of this movie are these witches are trying to remain like in the mortal world as long as they can, and the way that they do that is by consuming the life force of a child.
Because, you know,
Which is just like inhaling
easiest
near
way.
them.
Yeah.
Which is always
They, like,
a little
feed
weird.
them this potion that somehow puts their life force on the exterior, I guess. And
Yeah.
then they have to breathe in their life force in order to become young and youthful again.
really huffing out that fucking
Yeah, huff that
white smoke
child.
that's coming out right there. Really cracking open a cold one with your sisters just on a Halloween night right
that's
there.
fucking great.
But if they don't consume the life force of a child, then they turn to dust.
Yeah, they do. Also sunlight.
Yeah.
Didn't they just like explode?
Well, like, okay, two of them exploded, but one of them turned into a statue.
A statue that was
and
holding
then
the-
exploded.
yeah. She was straight up holding the kid. You heard his cardigan rip as
Yeah.
she was trying to get out of that.
She had like
aggressive
claws.
grip.
Yeah,
She
they
did
all
it,
had
yeah.
these 6 stiletto nails.
Which,
Yeah.
if we are also getting into their delightful costumes, all of the sisters had a very specific costume in mind for all of them. One was the Queen of Hearts. Other sister had the hairdo as a pumpkin, and the other sister was, as we've mentioned, Stevie Nicks in a sexy costume as a witch.
Yes.
Pretty much. All of the scenes was just her having like a corset on really tight.
Which, yeah, they had a flying cloak whenever they used the brooms, and they
Yeah.
also had a walking around cloak so that they wouldn't dirty up
yes,
their
the walking
delightful-
cloak.
The walking cloak, you know. You got to stun on them peasants that you're really coming on with.
I like when they have to take the bus.
Oh, I was just about to mention that. The bus driver. It's like, wowza, wowza.
my gosh.
Who are these delightful creatures?
Just hitting on all of them.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I don't know exactly where we're going. And he's like, oh, it might take a few tries, but we'll get there.
No,
I was like,
no,
oh my God.
No. She said, we're looking for children.
Oh, that's right.
Might
Can you
take a
give them to us? And he was like, it'll take me a few tries, but I can give it a shot. And that totally went over my head as a child. I was like, yeah, you got to look around to find the neighborhoods, right? Nah, he was talking about fucking.
Straight up hitting on them the instant that they arrive.
He even
onto the
sits her
bus.
on his lap. She's
Yeah.
like driving
Yeah.
the bus on his lap.
Disney,
What the
watch
fuck?
it with your kids. Or no, sorry, Disney. Pay for Disney Plus and then another
Oh my
$30
God,
for a new
that's
movie.
hilarious. It's
Oh
the real
my
reason
God.
why Dad's buying Disney Plus.
Yo,
Wants
always-
to see Sarah Jessica Parker.
That always made me wonder too about Disney, is that watching certain Disney movies as I'm older, I notice all these little like sexual innuendos they add into there. And so I assume they do that because they know that the parents are going to be watching of their kids. And
Yeah,
as a
pretty
child,
much.
these kind of comments are just going to go over your head. You're not really going to understand the context or where it's coming from. But as an adult, you're like, oh, wait a second. That was kind of funny. Aha, chuckle.
This
It's-
is
funny when you watch it, but now that you're like, wait a minute, I saw this as a kid. I want to watch this with my kids.
it's like, well, now I know why my uncle wanted to watch this all the time.
Right? It's like, yeah, I want to see Sarah Jessica Parker sitting on that dude's lap.
What was the other one? She was repeating a fucking phrase, and then she just got hit in the stomach immediately.
Oh, dang it.
As soon as they were looking at the street that they thought that was a river again, which was also a funny scene right
Oh
there.
yeah, it's a road.
And
Because
I
they were coming out of their cottage, and obviously they've been gone for 300 years. They've
What is
never
this
seen
waffle?
asphalt before. and there's this wet asphalt road, and they're like, "Oh no, a black river."
She didn't give a fuck though. She just jumped in and
No,
screamed.
she was pushed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the older sister pushed her.
They had a lot of what's the Three Stooges vibes. With
Yeah, that's
that was
true.
something too. They were definitely
Physical
the Three
comedy.
Stooges. Obviously,
Very slapstick humor.
what was
Oh,
it?
they got
Winifred.
smacked
Winifred was
around.
actually the main witch, I believe. She was kind of like the brains of the operation, and then you have her ditzy sister, who was Sarah, and then the other one, her name escapes me, the pumpkin girl. She was just sort of like just all around.
She was
dumb.
She was a
Weird.
bloodhound.
weird.
She was
Yeah, she was
always
a
finding the
bloodhound.
kids because she found the bully with his shoe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she
then
could like smell
She
them.
could sniff out kids, and she would occasionally bark.
Yeah, I was like, she totally barked in that movie. It was weird.
It's like the equivalent.
Fantastic character acting.
It's
Oh
the
my God.
equivalent of those weird kids who would like hiss at you. You remember
Oh,
that?
man. Some emo
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, some emo kid that hissed.
Oh,
They're
what's
gonna
the other
roar
one?
at you.
Ah, you're making me hurt right now. Don't make me
I feel
hurt
like
you.
I may have been that kid back in the
Oh my
day.
god.
Let's not remember our cringy moments right now.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the good nostalgia, not the bad nostalgia.
It's like, you mean you didn't like Hot Topic?
I liked Hot Topic before they sold out and started putting like, mainstream artists in there. Like as soon as I saw a Nicki Minaj shirt in there, I was like, I'm out.
Yeah,
I
that
can't
was-
do this anymore.
Yeah, but you're right. Around the same time.
Like the section where they have like
That's
the
funny.
OG
The
band
death of an
shirts
era.
is just like the fucking corner of the store now. The rest is just all this pop culture shit.
That's
Just-
true.
And
They
I
have
guess
Five Nights
Hot
at Freddy's
Topic,
stuff.
yeah, like Hot Topic, you get it. Like Hot Topic, it's what's popular. And I guess when it was made like what in the 90s, and so rock music was popular back then. That's what they supported, and like the whole alternative goth scene, all that good stuff. But now, the Hot Topic has shifted.
It has been adopted by the goths at the time, and it has been moved on to. I am not hip with the kids now.
I'm like, we're getting old, guys.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm showing my age
Oh
right
man.
I remember being young and like wanting to go into Hot Topic with my grandpa, and he was like, "No, that's an evil store."
That's hilarious.
Now. Of the Satanic Panic of Hot Topic,
Ah, yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
which is again this is a Disney movie. We're getting spells from a book of the dead that are reviving witches 300 years ago to
Not-
steal souls.
Not to mention that the book was made with human skin.
Yeah, for
They
real.
didn't
And
go-
had a working eyeball. The eyeball looked around and shit.
That
That
was in
was
a mouth.
given to them by the devil himself.
Oh, that's true.
They went as
Oh my
Necronomicon as
God.
they could
But
without
then the
going
scene-
Necronomicon.
Where they go to the quote unquote devil's house.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the
They-
dude, it's just like a horny old man who's just like, "Oh, you guys want to hang out with me? Yeah, let's." And his wife is like, "What are you doing?"
With the rollers in her hair,
Yeah.
watching TV. Like, what? Who's at the door?
Why are you inviting children into our house? We're watching a movie, husband.
That was another thing I thought was weird about this movie. Maybe it's just showing of the times, but when they went trick-or-treating, they would actually enter the person's house.
Yeah,
Oh,
what the fuck?
Who does that? Have you guys done that?
No.
I've never done that. Even when I trick-or-treated as a child, I knocked on the door and they came to the door of candy. I never walked inside a house. That's some weird shit.
This is like
Honestly.
stranger danger stuff.
Yeah, right?
I was having a couple of Stranger Danger moments. I was like,
Uh.
geez. Oh, also the whole Pied Piper scene with Sarah Jessica Parker on the broom singing to
Singing.
the children for them to come follow them into the house. Huh?
Did she actually sing for the movie?
She
Yeah.
might have. I mean, it wasn't
Yes.
excellent singing, so like I assume that was just her. I mean, it wasn't bad singing either.
Also, this was a moment for the producers of the film to be like, you know what we want you to do? Just lean over and show us your boobs while you're singing.
right.
But do it over and over again. Do it sexy.
There's
And it's also a Disney movie. You have to have a musical number. You have that.
Yeah,
you
for
have
real.
them when they go into the town hall and they do that rendition of "I Put a Spell on You,"
Oh, that's true.
man.
which is like a classic.
The 30 seconds that she heard that one guy sing "I Put a Spell on You" was enough for all the sisters to know exactly everything.
Yeah.
Choreographed.
Yeah.
They practiced that
enchant
shit.
everybody. That was a fantastic scene. Loved it as a kid. Well, that was kind of hard to watch.
It's kind of hard to watch.
No, dude, it was great though.
I do like that the curse that they put onto them was making them dance like forever, because that's actually a thing.
Yes.
Like there was
Yeah.
curses out. Oh no, you explained it before.
Yeah, so there's a thing in Italy called the tarantella, and tarantella means tarantula. And it was believed that if you got bit by the spider, that you would be cursed to dance until you basically like caused yourself to die from exhaustion. But there's also a connection to Dionysus. They'd say
Yeah.
anytime Dionysus rolled through a village, he would just cause merriment and chaos to the point where people were literally like ripping animals apart, getting naked, fucking killing people just because they're so ecstatically partying.
Yep. And then they would just drop dead once they left.
That's very, very true. There was also I forget, there was a village in somewhere in the 1500s that they had the dancing plague. They continued dancing and supposedly until exhaustion. So dehydration, continuous movement, friction. I have no idea. Oh, sleepiness.
Lack of sleep,
lack
no
of
eating.
sleep, insomnia. And
I think you would just die from a heart attack at that point because your body can't sustain the energy you're putting out. And then there's also La Sylphie. Sylphies are basically these woodland spirits that are the ghosts of people who have lost their lovers.
Oh, shit.
And so what happens is if a man wanders into the forest and comes across a Sylphie, she'll make him dance until he dies.
I like that there's a lot of lore behind getting men to go somewhere and killing them. This is great.
Disney is really pulling the coffers to get this information to make this Hocus Pocus movie.
Love it. Isn't there also a parallel where it's like one of the festival activities for like Midsommar is to like dance around the maypole and whoever is like the last one dancing, like they put it in the movie too.
They gave them all hallucinogens before they did it, of course. And you're supposed to dance around the pool until everybody just dropped and the last person standing was the May Queen.
Yeah.
Which I don't know too much about the historical context of that in particular, but like it was a cult. They have their own things they like to do.
I mean, it was definitely a competition that existed.
Yeah.
To like continue dancing until someone stopped or until the last person was standing, and then they would usually get some special prize for it. But I don't know if it was exactly the way that they showed it there. So yeah, I'm sure there's some fine details for it. But they did. So this movie did make a lot of like interesting references. Like they did their homework on stuff.
There's another
Deep
thing
cuts.
too was wearing costumes on Halloween.
Yeah.
Where that tradition comes from
They
is people
mentioned
would
it.
believe that since the spirits could cross over, including the evil spirits, if you dressed yourself as something other than a human, then the spirits wouldn't be able to recognize you as a human and they would leave you alone. And so when the witches come out and all the kids are out trick-or-treating in their costumes, they're freaking out. They're like, what the fuck are all of these things?
I smell children, but I don't see children.
Yeah, pretty much. I love that. I love that they wouldn't be able to tell just from like a simple mask.
And then the little angel that blessed them.
Bless you.
It makes me think of the when he says that it's like acid rain.
Oh,
and they're like avoiding it because they're just like, oh, wait, no, it's going to burn us.
Yeah, because, they had never seen a lighter before. So they're like, oh my gosh, he's making fire from his hand.
Yeah.
And now it's magically raining because they don't know what sprinkler systems are.
Oh, what was the other one? And now sun.
And they turn on the headlights.
The headlights with the
Great.
red filter on it.
Yeah.
Wait, so does that mean that they can't go out during the day?
I think it was
Well, they
because of the
could go out
day. They had
during the day,
24
yeah.
hours to do
Oh,
that.
gotcha. Okay,
By the
okay.
time the sun rose, they had to have consumed the life of a child, or else they would have turned to dust.
Gotcha.
And so they saw the light, and they're like,
Just trying to trick them on the
shit."
timing.
Yeah. They're like, one thing you don't know about, daylight savings time.
And they're like, what?
Here's the sun.
It's like, what is this, National Treasure?
Yo.
Oh my god.
All right, Nick. Come on. Well, I mean, Hocus Pocus is a national treasure. So
It
yes.
is.
Doesn't this movie
Legendary.
have really bad ratings?
I think so.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think it got,
I
like,
think-
what,
I think
a
people-
6.5 or something.
I don't think it
Let me
was
get
that
that.
low, but it was definitely like on the lower end of the ratings. People just didn't. Well, it was more of an
Hocus-
audience favorite. It became a cult classic.
Hocus Pocus, well, obviously this wasn't there at the time, but it has a 38 on Rotten Tomatoes, and it was a 6.9 out of 10 for IMDb.
Oh shit!
And then as soon as you look right below that, it says 91% like this movie by Google users.
Yeah.
So just like any other thing that exists, numbers say one thing, and then when you ask the public, it says a different thing.
The acting is what made it. Like
Yeah.
the three
It was
sisters.
just so quirky and funny
Yeah.
to watch.
They went for it.
So
Oh, man.
extra all the time.
The sisters.
Sisters?
Sisters, gather! We must get the children for the life. No, I want that child. She called me. Don't say it. Ugly. Oh yeah, she tripped when she called her ugly.
That was funny.
And then what did the two bullies call her? They
A hag.
Yeah.
They called her a
They called her a
hag.
hag.
No, was it a hag or was it chicks?
Oh yeah.
Was it chick
It was
or
both.
hag?
Chicks.
It was both. Because they call her a hag when they're in the cage. And then when they're out, he's like, why is it always the ugly chicks that stay out late? And she was
Just
like,
immediate heel turn.
yeah, they all turn. They're like, wait, what?
And then just they're in the cage
Yeah.
with their hands and limbs just out, like, let us
And
out.
it's funny because you never find out what happens to them because even at the end,
That's
to the
true.
little cutscene,
They don't explain.
They-
yeah,
were
they're
filling them with
still in the
candy.
fucking cage
Just
and
leave
they're
them
like
there.
singing row your boat or
Yeah,
some
yeah.
shit to pass the time. I'm
That
like,
was
whatever
random as
happened
hell.
to them?
Dude, they were feeding them candy like the Wicked Witch in the Gingerbread House.
Yeah.
They were fattening them up. They were like, I don't want any more
Hands-on
candy.
Gretel type stuff.
I
throw 'em
mean,
in the
ice
oven.
was plenty thick enough. I'm just saying. Ice.
Ice.
I told you, dude. My name's Ice. This is Ice. Turns around, got fucking ice shaved in
Oh
the
my
back of his
God.
head. Oh,
That seems
beautiful.
appropriate
He's
for the
cool like
time
that.
somehow.
Oh, their looks were so like new metal grunge shit
Super.
going
Yeah,
on.
for
fucking
real.
Ice looked like he listens to Limp Bizkit.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, he got that album as soon as it
Look at
came
Limp
out.
Bizkit.
It was a chocolate starfish.
I don't even think you can find that in like the discount bin.
But you can barely find that on Spotify. I'm
It's like
assuming.
you find it now. It's like a relic. It's like finding a Blockbuster card.
Oh, I think there's still one Blockbuster that exists somewhere.
Yeah, just
Oh,
one.
in Alaska.
I think yeah, it's in Alaska.
That's the one.
Has its own like Twitter and all the social media and everything. I love that.
I love that.
Can't
That's
you
good
like
shit.
rent it
I want
out as like an Airbnb too?
Yeah, they started doing
That's
that because they were
during the
losing
quarantine.
business.
Yep.
So they were like, you can rent out a whole Blockbuster.
I'd be afraid to, honestly.
They're leaning into that. They're doing like spooky aspects for it.
That's
I would
cool.
assume they did something for Halloween.
I don't know.
That'd
I'd
be
pay for
badass.
it.
Hell yeah.
That sounds dope. You get to like watch any movie you want in there.
We're gonna do an Alaska trip. Oh, so by the way, while we're there,
Right.
We're staying in
We're
Blockbuster.
staying in Blockbuster.
One
yo.
night, Blockbuster.
Although,
It's
depending
out.
on how they designed it, it could be weird if they have the giant windows.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then
No.
it's like dark as hell. I don't know. I don't like giant windows in houses.
If memory
I like
serves
them, but
right,
not where I can see other people.
You remember like Mandy,
Yeah.
their bedroom?
That was just a glass box.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how you fall asleep like
Well,
that.
like if I was out
You
in the
pass
middle
out.
of nowhere and I knew that no one was around, maybe I could like that. But I would just have that as a reading room or something. I wouldn't sleep in there.
Yeah,
That's creepy.
exactly. It was just like a reading room.
it's my office where I
the fuck?
think about things.
Think about
It's your
things.
ex machina room.
Yeah, right. Ooh.
Well, now at this point, I would want to know, what would you guys rate these films?
I think because of the history that Halloweentown has, I would say that the original movie, if I'm going with a out of 10 system, would get an 8, just because I am able to be transported back to both the time that I saw it and the time that they had in it. Hocus Pocus, it was always referenced for me as a kid. I didn't see it as a kid. It was like something that I knew about, and then I watched it later, and then I watched it now. So I don't have that with it, but I'm also getting the similar feeling either with the people that had it and with the connection that the sisters brought with it. Because, ooh, buddy, like we said earlier, they went for it. They really wanted that one kid, and then the other sisters wanted those kids. They showed up, and they knew what to do. Again, I was shocked that these are Disney movies.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess that's looking back on things. I would say that one gets a solid 6 out of 10.
Solid.
Solid.
I think for nostalgia points, I would give both of these 8s because I remember watching these every Halloween when they came on TV when I was younger, and I love them. I love those movies so much. I love the quirkiness. I love the costumes. I love the ideas of separate worlds and resurrection and all that good stuff. Curses. Yeah, I would give both of these movies an 8. I think they're just fantastic OG Halloween movies that are fun and like family consumable.
Sorta.
Sorta.
Ran through a Rolodex.
That's great. I love that. I would give both of them 9s actually.
Nice.
There's a lot of nostalgia attached to them. and you could tell the people who made these films just had a lot of fun making them. You
Oh,
can tell,
man.
like, when you watch a movie, even if it's shit, if the people enjoyed making it, it's usually going to be a lot of fun for people to watch. It's like people don't really consider Rocky Horror that good of a movie, but watching it, it became such a cult classic that, like, when you watch it with a group of friends, it's just so great to watch, and it's
Yeah.
super enjoyable.
It's
yeah,
an experience, and that's why the live performance is so
yeah,
enjoyable too.
exactly. So just watching these movies is so nostalgic, and of course they showed it like every year for like a decade.
It's ingrained in our
Yeah.
in our childhood, and like the
They might even
consciousness.
be like movies that could be considered touchstones of the generation that we all grew up with, and because it had like a specific kind of humor, a certain kind of look, and like all of the costuming and everything. They weren't super concerned with like how much money they may have spent on something.
Oh, the practical effects, the makeup
Yeah,
on these
there's a lot of
guys.
practical stuff. They didn't really use too much like CGI or green screen on it. It was a lot of like funny, quirky, just practical effects they used for it that worked really well for the films. So I liked them a lot. And of course, you'll hardly find anybody who has not seen them.
Yeah.
Almost everybody you know has seen this movie. It's really rare that your friend didn't watch it.
Well, she's not from here.
Yeah, it makes sense because she's from Poland. But,
Yeah.
you know, if you're in the United States and you grew up on it, you probably watched it.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. It's there when you need it. It's there when it's Halloween.
Yeah, well, now because we're all streaming stuff, we probably aren't watching it that often because it was on TV.
Hocus Pocus
Yeah.
came out in July of that year, if I remember correctly.
Which is an
So,
interesting time to release a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know.
shit, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. it came out to. It was supposed to be 4 really heavy hitter movies that I'm completely forgetting, which obviously that's terrible on my part. But being heavy hitters.
Were they all on Disney?
No. They all came out on theaters.
Oh,
when they
that's
came
right.
out theatrically.
Yeah.
It was just a whole bunch of craziness, and then they were like, "Yeah, Hocus Pocus. It's a fun family movie for Halloween," in like summer. But no, obviously it's done very well. We're having a remake. They wanted to make it a remake. They scratched the idea and made it a sequel, and then they
Nice.
started talking about putting it on Disney Plus, if I remember correctly. So I mean, hey, it works out for them. It's either multiple sequels or hey, we really build up that sequel.
Fucking Disney Plus, they're like bleeding the money out of everything they got.
Honestly.
They saw an opportunity and
Yeah, they were
they're
like,
really
we're definitely
going
gonna
for it.
make some money with this shit.
Fucking capitalists.
What are you talking about? The what's the other streaming services? Peacock is doing fantastic, and Quibi died.
What's Peacock?
I was like, wait, yeah, what's Peacock?
I'm not advertising that.
I really love that
Look at
Quibi
Quibi.
died.
Quibi-
I
Quibi,
really love
yeah.
that Quibi died.
Katzenberg.
They were pushing that shit so
what
hard.
the hell, Katzenberg? You should have retired.
Oh my god.
You let your last thing be that.
I feel like that dude just convinced a lot of other rich people to put money into it, and then it just failed.
I'm glad that the workers that were doing stuff and the creative types were able to do their stuff, but
Yeah, exactly.
the management of this.
That's great. Any other final thoughts?
Spooky times.
Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble, y'all. That's it.
All right, then before what?
Do the thing.
Huh?
Do the thing, Jonathan.
cut
Do
me
the
off.
thing.
Do the
John.
You
thing.
cut me off.
Well, continue. Continue.
Continue doing the
No,
thing,
the
John.
fucking thing.
no, you do it.
Nah, I don't want to do the thing.
I don't want to do it either.
Eric, do the thing.
I don't know the full version of the thing.
You just tell people you can find us on all our social medias and stuff.
You were able to find bringing down that brand. See, that's why I didn't want to do it.
This literally happens every time.
Every time.
It's great.
You're able to find Bringing Down the Grindhouse on your favorite podcast stations. You're also able to find Bringing Down the Grindhouse on YouTube, Spotify.
Pretty much
any-
anywhere you can
yeah.
find podcasts.
iHeartRadio, SoundCloud,
If you can stream it and
SoundCloud.
it's not completely on video, you can find us Bringing Down the Grindhouse.
You can just Google it
You
too.
know it.
Actually, it'll bring it up. Now I think about it.
Also, we have a Patreon.
It's true.
Yes.
We are adding on more to the Patreon, which is going to be just individual segments with one or a few of us that focus in on things we really like, TV shows, monsters, kind of like lore, and I don't know, what is it called? Cryptids?
Yeah, I'm soon to be releasing a segment about our
Yeah.
favorite cryptids and urban legends, starting with the Mothman.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice.
So that'd be
Okay,
cool.
starting with a bang.
And
stuff.
we'll put one of the episodes onto the main streaming so that you can actually hear it, and then the rest of them will go up onto Patreon.
Good stuff.
And the price is set pretty low for Patreon. It's like, what, $1 just to get access and stuff?
Yep.
And of course, we'll have other tiers later on, including possibly some merch. Be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, we have a shirt in the making. We have secured all of the artwork for it. We just need to get a printer.
So if you want to print our shit, let us know.
Right, yeah.
Printer go.
But thanks so much. Thanks so much for coming out to talk about these two films. I hope everyone has a good night. Thank you.
I'm Justine.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Eric. Stay safe out there and happy Halloween.
Wah, ha, 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 ha.